What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to A Certain Point of View here on POV. As we are back, and Brian disappeared.
Where did you go?
I needed my whiteboard, and I was too chubby to reach over the seat and grab it.
We're not here for a reaction. Why did you?
I know, but I needed to write down thoughts.
Okay.
There's going to be
Welcome
thoughts.
back, everybody. Hope everyone's doing great out there. Obviously, we haven't seen you guys in over a week because there's no reactions. We're not doing a whole lot right now. It's the off season, but we're here to have a little fun as we kind of set up what's going to be happening here in the next few weeks with factions. Obviously, we all know that downsizing is happening in the MTS, and managers have some very, very tough decisions to make with their players. And we're going to kind of make some predictions, talk about it. Each faction manager, what they're going to be doing going forward. No Molly today. They are busy. Had a little vacay doing some stuff there at Atlanta. But with me, as always, Jill, Brian. Let's start with you, Jill. You celebrated your official birthday this weekend. How you doing?
I'm better now. I'm better today. Yeah, I had birthday number 2 on my actual birthday with like my family and stuff. So my family came over and we had dinner. And then I had birthday party number 3 at my place. There's an echo.
It's probably all the nonsense. My thing is me being audio overloaded right now by like 19 different things that's going on.
Brian's a hot mess, everybody.
Anyway,
it's not even me. It's everything around me right now is going nuts.
I wish everyone listening on audio could actually physically see what Brian is doing right now.
Brian is a hot mess. Brian is the conductor of the Hot Mess Express right now. But yeah, and then on Saturday I had like another like party at my place, like a smaller group. Yeah, I hurt really bad yesterday.
Just yesterday, not today.
No, today I'm fine. I'm good today, but yesterday it was a struggle bus for sure. I had one too many pickleback shots. Yeah, I had one too many. But like I didn't get sick, so yay. But like I was definitely dehydrated like all day yesterday. So Hot Mess Express.
Choo choo.
Choo choo. I also got I want to show everyone the best pair of shoes that my best friend gave me for my birthday. Look at these mofos.
Whoa,
Look at those.
Looks
Holy
like
Lord.
To describe them for people not physically viewing them, it looks like Liberace threw up on a pair of
No, you know what they look like? They look like a modern day boot version of what oh my god, I'm forgetting her name. Oh my god. Wizard of Oz girl.
Dorothy?
Dorothy wears the red slippers, but they're a booty version. And they're silver.
I mean they were originally silver, so
that's true.
That's true.
I just
new guy. That's a good one.
Thank you. But yeah, it was a good weekend. I'm yeah. So I'm officially 30. Hooray.
Hi, Paige.
Yay. Jake is the baby officially.
I am the baby.
He's always been the baby.
I've always been the baby. Birthdays don't change. Birthdays don't change.
He's always been the baby.
No. He's the only 20-year-old.
Well, not for long. Yeah, Jill, again, another happy birthday to you. Hope it was a great weekend. We had fun when we got to see you and everything. Brian, how was your weekend, sir? You must have done a lot because you're thinking hard.
No, I'm trying to think if I actually did anything other than not doing anything. I haven't done anything. I've been watching movies and playing Animal Crossing, basically. I'm basically the greatest. No, I'm not even playing the game anymore. I'm playing.
Are you doing like the little like house decor, like the decor,
yes,
you're basically Property Brothers?
Yes, I am basically the greatest interior designer. Yeah, in the history of ever.
You an interior designer? No.
In Animal Crossing.
It's so funny because I cannot decorate in real life to save my life. But in Animal Crossing,
I can back that up, everybody. I can back that up.
I think I just I have too many thoughts going through my head of like, oh, this would look good. So then I just eventually don't do anything. And then Jake eventually gets frustrated and just does what he wants to do.
Well,
Although
when we live together, yes.
No, you've literally, when I was at my old apartment, like decorated.
Because you wanted help. So I was like, sure.
This, I mean, I'm also his, how do you describe it? I'm like his goodwill drop off. When he's done with something,
I'm like his goodwill drop off.
He just dumps it over to me. Like,
if you need this,
I mean, I have really nice stuff that I just don't need. So why not ask a friend?
Mm-hmm. Goodwill. So it just gets, here you go. Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong with that personally.
Oh, I'm not complaining about it.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, yeah. Other than watching Spider-Man,
quick.
I did nothing. And don't worry, we're not going to spoil it.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we're not going to talk any Spider-Man spoilers. And I know that the embargo is officially up by like social media and stuff. We're not going to talk about anything tonight. But I do want to say, Andrew Swift here, he officially hits 30 in 13 days.
Woo!
So happy early birthday, because we won't be on the air in the next 2 weeks. So happy early birthday, Andrew Swift.
We won't?
2 weeks?
Well, we won't have a show next week, and then we'll have a show the following week. So
got it.
In 2 weeks, we'll have a show, but it'll already be his birthday.
Got it.
I'm literally going to be so bored these next couple of weeks because I have nothing to do.
What are you talking about? We have
this
shameless plug. Shameless plug. We have so much Patreon stuff going on the next 2 weeks. You guys need to join.
We still have to do. We're doing Q&A part 2. Like,
yeah, we still got to do.
Oh, that's right.
We got to record a reaction. We have a watch along, and we have our Christmas bar trivia.
I know. I can't wait. So I'm going home for Christmas, and it'll be me, my mom, my sister, and my sister's boyfriend, and they've been together for like a year.
No, I'm just saying, like, he's coming home for Christmas.
Did he come home last? No, he didn't. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, he's a Cleveland, Cincinnati sports fan.
I feel so bad for that guy, but not really. But that's
okay. I know. Well, he's not a Browns fan. He jumped to the Bengals, which it's like.
That's okay.
Okay. But anyways.
Jill's going to tune out for the next few minutes while we talk sports.
No,
I'm just going to count all the money I got for my birthday.
It's just funny because, like, they've never really, like, seen me, like, do this. And I have to bring home all my stuff because I'll be there for a while. And so, like.
Oh, you're going to be there for the watch-along.
Yeah. So they're just going to be like, why is he talking to himself?
What?
Like, because it's just going to be, yeah. I know. I have to bring home a TV because my mom like gutted my room to be the guest room, so I have like my spare little like small one. Otherwise, I can't do the watch. Well, I guess I could watch on my computer, but still. Anyways, enough about me.
Sean's banging nails.
Oh, can you hear that? Oh, sorry. He's building a shelf.
Construction worker Sean's in the building.
He's building a shelf for the
He's building a castle for his little man.
I purposely stopped because I knew exactly what was happening.
Sorry. Yeah,
it adds to the show. I'm sure everyone at home probably really enjoys it.
Everyone, it's Sean Sullivan, everybody. Like, it's just yeah. I do have a question for the class though, because I posed it during our watch along, and I need an answer because my mind, I
chat. This is to you.
This chat. Okay, so I got money for my birthday? Clearly. Do I buy a Disney pass now, or do I wait until after Christmas? Because I think I'm gonna get Disney gift cards that I can put towards it. What do I do? But two types of annual passes have already sold out, so I don't know if I want to wait that long. So give me your honest thoughts in the chat. Because
now I can hear a train.
That was not me. I do not live near a train.
No, I'm saying like the amount of chaos that's happening outside my apartment.
Brian, you live in Sacramento, dude. Like
I'm aware, but like there's like a machine that sounds like it's sucking stuff out of the sewer. I have the church that is just being annoying as usual. Now I can hear trains.
It's okay. Just
the Hot Mess Express is coming to pick me up. That's what it is.
All right, let's go ahead and let's get into our Schmoedown talk here. We're gonna be running through these factions, kind of talking about the players that they have, And because of the downsizing that is happening, we're going to decide for ourselves who we think managers are going to be keeping, who we think they may be letting go, and maybe even some people from other factions we think that they may go after.
This is the correct answer.
The comment.
That's the correct answer.
You want to know? I watched something.
I mean, not wrong. Not wrong.
I'm gonna get it tonight.
They asked people. They did. I forget. It was like
every single person said say now. So there you go.
Yeah. Okay, I'll get it tonight.
I literally saw it was something on YouTube or TikTok or something. They went around Disneyland and asked people what's better, a Disneyland churro or a Mickey ice cream bar.
Oh, churro.
Oh, see, now everyone was picking the ice cream bar.
What?
No,
you could get something better if you could get a dilly bar at Dairy Queen that tastes better than
it's just flipping ice cream. It's it's not like
it was very.
You know what's better than the Mickey ice cream bar is the ice cream sandwich with the chocolate chip cookies. That's where it's at.
She's on the right path.
It actually might have been that. I think it might have been that actually.
Yeah, my mom has
she
goes all the time, so that's.
Nussbaum, I'm not a Dole Whip fan, so I'm not with you there.
Dole Whip is good. I like Dole Whip. Put some.
Yeah, I think it's overrated a little too much. It's a little.
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay. Anyway, back to Schmoedown here. So,
sorry, I derailed.
these are the restrictions that we're going to be going off of tonight, as far as what we know that's been released public. And I know someone said it in the chat or asked in the chat as well. So, as far as we know, there will be 5 players per faction next year officially. That includes 1 singles player, 2 players for teams, 1 IG, and 1 Star Wars. And now we don't know the rules as far as players playing multiple divisions. We imagine it will happen because, example, it would be weird for Mike Kalinowski to not be able to play teams if he's playing IG, like if he was to be Corruption's IG player. So, but just for tonight to decide players and what managers are going to be doing, we're just going to be sticking to that singles player can play singles, those teams players can play teams, that IG player can play IG, and the Star Wars player can play Star Wars. Just for tonight. Obviously, it could be different out in the actual Schmoedown, but for the conversation, that's what we'll be going off of.
So they cannot play multiple divisions.
Yeah, and it's gonna probably make the conversation a little bit better too, because we're gonna have to decide on some people, because some people might be better in one division or be better at multiple, and just gonna have to play a one going forward. So, and where we're gonna start is we're gonna go from the league standings in season 8. So we're gonna start from the bottom and go to the top. So Chuck, I apologize, but we're gonna bring up the Soul Rune to begin with, because Winston Marshall Swag ended up in last place this year. And I'll go ahead and bring up the image of his roster that was at the beginning of the year. It might have changed because of free agency stuff. But this was the roster for Swag this year. I don't think, Bradley Tingle was dropped, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, Brian, you can probably correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe not.
I didn't think, did he? I don't think he ever dropped anyone.
Okay, and I'm sure the chat will also correct me as well. But this was his faction for the year that did not do as well as he had hoped for. Well, Chandru was dropped at the end of the year. Yes, you are.
Chandru was dropped.
So we can keep Chandru off the list officially, but these are the players that we're going to be talking about for Swag to see who Winston Marshall keeps. And keep this in mind. This is a big thing to keep in mind as we do this. We don't have to officially decide 5 for these.
Oh, let's make fun of Brian that he grabbed a whiteboard, and look who's got a whiteboard pen now.
Because I didn't make fun of you. I was just wondering where you were when we stepped in the thing. I was like, Brian's gone. Where'd he go?
So, for example, we could say Winston's only going to keep 2 of his players, and he's going to go to something new. And obviously, if you guys have seen Spectacular, when we get to the den, it's actually going to be pretty simple on what happens. But let's start with this roster here. So Chandru, who is officially dropped, but we have not that one. Pauliyama, Lon Harris.
Can we do it where we're on the side and they're in?
Well, I would have to re-download the pictures. So
okay, never mind.
But I can actually bring up the Schmoedown website, which I'll do here in a sec. So we have Eric Zipper, Laura Kelly, Ace Cabrera, Vinny Mancuso, Haley Fouch, Jen Kemp, John Harris.
I'm being summoned. Please.
Bradley Tingle, you're fine. And Frank Moran. Brian, let's start with you. Who are the players you think that Winston is really going to keep going into next season? Again, it does not have to be 5. It could be 1. It could be 3. What are the names that kind of stand out to you the most?
I think he only keeps 2 people from that current roster.
I have a feeling I know who it is, but go ahead.
I think everyone pretty much is the same thing, and I have Paul for singles and Ace for Star Wars.
Those are the 2 that stand out the most. I see Gordon here with you as well. Obviously, a lot of people. Oyama is pretty much the lock. Oyama's absolutely happening. Chuck definitely keeping Paul and Ace. Yeah. Zip for IG is also interesting. I will agree with Ace and Paul. It's also an easy decision because I think Laura is probably going elsewhere, and he doesn't have to decide between his Star Wars players. He can put the focus on Ace and give him a chance going forward like he had the previous year. I have a name that I think he should keep that I don't know if he will, but I think he should keep. Jen Kemp. I think he should keep Jen Kemp, not for singles, but for teams. I know that she's done pretty good in IG, but she showed this year that she's actually really, really good when it comes to singles and teams play. And she's growing. She's getting better as she's kind of played. I don't know who she could be partnered with.
I mean, she was really good with Vinny.
Well, and maybe he keeps Vinny to keep them together. Maybe he keeps Zipper to keep Zipper.
Which it's Vinny's birthday, so happy birthday, Vinny.
Oh, happy birthday, Vinny. Happy birthday, Vinny. But I think Jen Kemp is someone that he probably should keep as well. I think she could be a sneaky good keep going into next year when she gets the amount of opportunities that she could get with the less people on the team.
Yeah.
So you're just sticking with Paul and Ace? Those are the 2?
Those are my 2.
So you think he's going to restart with the next 3?
Yes.
Okay. Jill, what about you? Oh, you muted? Maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Hello.
There you go.
I have Ace for Star Wars because I agree. I think Laura's going to go somewhere else. Paul for singles. I think that's a pretty obvious keep,
Agreed.
in my opinion. For teams, I have 2 options because I think with the whole digital stuff and people who don't really live very close to LA, I don't know how much that's going to be a factor next season. So I did put Lon and Jen, but because Jen isn't local to LA, I don't know.
It'd be tough.
Feasible that's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I also said just
Paul's
the Harris
technically
brothers.
not LA.
Well, yeah, but he was traveling before, like, the shutdown happened. So he's, like, already, like, established and stuff. So, but I don't know. So I don't know how that's going to affect. I also said the Harris brothers could be another team to bring them back. I think would be fun. And then Zipper for IG. Because I think this they didn't really touch on that whole storyline with them, like, coming back together this season. And I think that would be fun to do.
So, Jill, let me ask you this.
Do you think, for storyline purpose,
do you think that Winston is going to keep 5 players from the team he has, or do you think he'll go elsewhere for someone?
I don't think he will keep all 5. I think if he's going to change anything, it's going to be teams and IG.
I agree with that.
But for the ones that are currently on his roster, and if he was going to stick with that, that's who I would pick for him. But of all of the different ones, I think Star Wars and singles are pretty much in the bag. I think Paul and Ace are pretty much guaranteed to stay in swag. And then teams and IG are kind of, they can go either way.
Yeah, we've seen Zipper play IG. It depends on where his focus would want to be, whether he'd want to play singles or IG. I don't know how many IG players would be available for Winston to grab, so he might have to pull from what he has available.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I'm starting, because I didn't think about it, now that I'm seeing in the chat, and we've mentioned it here, the Harris brothers as the teams could be very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Something new for Lon, right, after his run with Paul. Jonathan wasn't terrible when we saw him earlier this year, and it would allow Paul to focus strictly on singles, which is where his strength has always kind of been. If I'm just to bet, though, I'm probably going to say that he keeps Paul, he keeps Ace, and I really do think that he keeps Jen. I think Jen is a really good player to have at your disposal for a team aspect, because she also seems like someone who could probably play with anybody. She's very flexible. She seems to get along with a lot of people. But who knows? Maybe she has aspirations to play something like IG, and that fits her mold a little bit elsewhere in a different faction. So that is definitely possible that we could see. But I think we're all in agreement here that at least Paul and Ace are the two locks for Swag, no matter what happens, whether he goes elsewhere for other players. Agreed?
Agreed.
All right. Let me go ahead and pull up the next one here. I believe it is Roxy and the Stars.
It is.
So let me.
This one's easy for me, I think.
Yeah, I think it's going to be easy for all of us, but let me just grab it to be sure. All right. Dun, 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 dun. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. This is a great radio. All right, let me share the screen here.
And her team.
This is her current roster.
Oh, okay.
And there is a lot that has been done to this roster over this year. So to start, both Kenjack and Jeff Lowe were dropped during free agency. And she picked, or Nick Harley is there. Okay, so good. She lost Jeff Snyder as Jeff Snyder is retiring, and Marco Draco actually isn't on that team, isn't there anymore anyway. So there's a lot to be done with this roster. There's a lot of potential with some younger players, but her team was obviously the odd couple. That's what she went into the year with, and that completely shifts gears now as the odd couple is no more, as well as Snyder and Andraco both not being part of the league for single contentions as well. Jill, I'm going to start with you on this one. Out of the names that you see, who do you think Roxy is keeping and why?
Alex for sure, because it's Alex Damon. How can you not? Like, yes, he lost the belt, but it's still Alex freaking Damon. So like, yeah, I think she's gonna keep him 100%. I also think Janine is safe. I think Janine is also going to be staying. As
if she doesn't, it's the dumbest move.
Yeah, I think Janine is for sure staying.
Not unless Janine doesn't want to be there.
Unless she wants to go somewhere else. But she seemed pretty freaking happy with the Stars this season. So those, I think, are the two that are for sure staying. I could see Jacoby being one half of the teams and then just getting I mean she could even keep Nick again. Nick was
keep that team too. And they were a team.
Just keep that team. They could keep that team. But again, I don't know how travel is gonna go.
Yeah.
With next season. So that for me is kind of up in the air. If travel's like not an issue, I could see them staying as a team. And then yeah, for IG, I think she's gonna get someone new for IG.
Yeah, I mean Brandon Hanna's a good bet for amount of games, but for point wise, he doesn't have the best track record. He doesn't.
No.
She might need something a little bit better because if Alex is just stuck playing one division, she needs a consistent IG player.
And I'm here's my like I don't know, because for me it's like I feel like Chundru would be a perfect rogue. I think him going rogue would be perfect and him not. But but I feel like he would be on a faction, you know? And it's like, I'm trying to think of some, like a man, because like I would say Kate, but Kate's confirmed to be keeping Saul. So that's her IG.
Yep.
So like, would you throw Chundru in as their IG player?
I mean, it's definitely possible, and maybe. I mean, who knows?
You don't think so? I think I really want him to go rogue. I think it would be really fun to have like a belted level player being a rogue player.
I agree.
It'd be really cool.
I agree. I mean, I've seen Theral here says Mara.
Mara. Ooh, Mara.
Because we'll get the dungeon. They technically have 3 IG players that they're kind of have to be deciding, which we'll get to, but it really, honestly, it all depends on if IG players. It depends on if those people want to work with Roxy, because Roxy has a certain way that she likes her faction, and she is also an extremely loyal person when it comes to your players. And if you play for her, She will be with you through thick and thin.
Oh,
And
apparently Mara said she's going rogue.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. So if that's true, then Mara is also out of contention for this. I think, as much as I don't think she should, I think Roxy pulls 5 out of her list. I think she keeps Janine for her singles.
You think she keeps everybody?
I think she keeps 5. And because she is an extremely loyal person, I think she keeps Janine as her singles. Alex has her Star Wars. Jacoby and Nick as Chaos Theory for her teams. And I think she keeps Brandon Hannah for IG.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
I just think that she is someone who is so loyal to the people that she has. And that's a great trait to have. We've talked about it maybe sometimes that's not the best thing, but she's not being loyal to someone like the Odd Couple right now because they're gone. She's being loyal to people who she just got for the first time last year. Mm-hmm. And if she's able to build with them, people who, and keep in mind, those are the 5 people that got her points throughout the year.
Yeah.
Those aren't people who were just part of her team. Jacoby was getting points. Nick was getting points. Alex struggled this year, but we all obviously know what he's capable of. And Janine was by far one of the best players this year. And if she can get those 5 people to play and be consistent and get points and have a lot of matches, then I think the 5 could end up doing really, really well. Now, here's a question, Brian, before I get to you. A lot of people are mentioning it in the chat.
Robert
Parker possibly could be available, obviously, with Kevin Smets coming back. And the ability to only have one IG player on your team. Do you think that Roxy could court him to the Stars?
No.
You don't think so?
Nope.
Do you think she's keeping Hannah?
Nope.
Who do you think,
she's
getting?
Who are your players that you think she's keeping, whether it's 1 or 5?
I think she keeps Janine. I think she keeps Harley and Bancroft because they're crazy good. I think she tests out the waters for IG. And maybe Brandon Hannah falls back into her lap if need be. And I think she should keep Burkett over Alex.
Wait. Oh, you should think you keep Zach over Alex. Hot take.
I mean,
hot take.
Alex.
Wait, why? Why though? Why? What's the reason?
Well, first off, Zach is the only Star Wars player that got her points this year.
Okay.
I don't know if Alex is at the level that he once was.
My heart just shattered.
I know, but my heart shatters too.
That's a hot take.
Yeah, Alex got points for the Stars.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Once.
Jeez.
Yeah. Sorry. I don't know. I think Zach would be more hungry to get points than Alex would. And would be more hungry to prove something, get points, go out there and play. What more does Alex have to prove?
Sorry, I think my headphones died. Go on.
Oh, no.
What more does Alex have to prove? That he can get the belt back? Okay. But I don't know. It is a very hot take. But, I mean, who was it that Zach lost to by one? He didn't even... Gold Leader. He almost took out Gold Leader. He didn't lose to Gold Leader off missing something. He lost to Gold Leader because he checked down once.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah. Oh, bye.
Oh, he lost him completely.
Oh
my God.
Oh, like gone.
The whole thing is... Jake
That's what happens. This is what happens when you have these takes, Brian.
I'm just saying. I'm
This is
just
what
saying.
happens. This is what happens. Always back. There you go. Everything's fine.
I don't know what happened. My headphones and whatever. Okay, move along.
I'm just saying. He
I can see
only
that.
lost to Gold Leader because he checked down on a multiple
Okay, well,
choice.
here's the thing. You're allowed to say that, but you have to put Alex in another faction then, because no way is Alex not getting picked.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no way is Alex not going to get picked. Like, that would be ridiculous. No.
I don't know.
No.
I just, yeah. Sorry.
No,
No,
hey,
you're
you're fine.
no, you're not.
All right, hold on real quick before we get to the next faction, because that was definitely a hot take. That was a definitely hot take there.
Amaru disagrees on the hot take.
We did get a
agrees with the
Streamlabs
hot
from Alan Smithy. Thank you so much, Alan.
Hello.
Much appreciated. He says, "Hi, POV crew.
Hello.
I may just be new here, so forgive me if I'm wrong, but the Patreon link on almost all your videos is actually wrong, and the wrong link was posted in the chat as well." Oh,
no.
it's View Crew, right? Nice meeting you, Jill and Errol Owl as well. Interesting. Okay. I will make sure that is edited or looked at. That has never happened before. So, Alan, thank you so much for the heads up.
Yeah,
Much appreciated.
And welcome if you are.
And welcome.
Yeah, welcome if you are joining. Thank you so much. Okay, next one here is actually pretty easy. Let me go ahead and just make sure I get them correct.
Brian Ward, if that was a possibility, Alex would run.
Oh, Alex would run if Ken was a manager again. Alex would push everybody out of the way.
He would dump Roxy.
Push Roxy out of the
Yeah.
way.
He would dump Roxy in a heartbeat. That's for sure.
For Ken.
Okay,
For
so the
Ken.
next one, the next team, the next faction coming in 6th place here was the Den, and we all know what happened at Spectacular, where Kate and Thomas Harper essentially threw up the middle fingers to everybody, and the Den officially going forward is on restart by only keeping Thomas and Saul.
Yeah, that's already confirmed. So
those are confirmed,
By
which
them.
means every other player on that list that you see right there is officially gone. They are available for other factions to grab. They are available to be rogue agents. We also have to keep in mind Peggy Gubbins has announced that she will be part of the FCL going forward. So she is off the MTS roster for now. What do we think about the move? Well, I mean, look, this is a big move because there's a lot of big names on that list. There are some really, really good names who could get you a lot of points on that list. What do we think about the move from Kate going forward by just starting with Thomas and Saul?
Brian doesn't hate it.
I'm not surprised.
Why
Like,
are
I'm
you
not
talking about
surprised
yourself in third person?
I don't know. I just felt like
he's
saying
that cool.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised by it. If there's one thing that I'm surprised about with that move, it's dumping Goddard.
I agree. I agree with that.
I think for me, that's the most shocking part because Kate and Goddard have always been like tight, like super tight. So I feel like dumping Goddard was a big deal. Not at all surprised that she's just keeping Saul and Harper though. Goddard for me was the biggest shock.
Thank you, Rachel.
I don't think that Goddard minds leaving the Den.
I honestly don't think he does either.
I think the man is highly competitive as a sports fan, probably. Maybe not some. Well, no, he's a sports fan. And is looking for a team that is going to get him to where he needs to be. And I don't think after 2 seasons with Kate that him and her were... I mean, I'm sure they're great friends and all that, but I don't think that they were... You could have an amazing coach and an amazing player. Doesn't mean they're going to be well together. And I think that was the exact same thing that we saw with... Now I have people... Can you hear the Christmas music? Someone's blaring out on. No. And I think that's the case with Goddard and Kate.
I agree with that. I think Ben has gone through some struggles over the last 2 years, and I think he and Paul were a great team on paper, but for some reason they just hit struggles as they played. Some missed, 3-pointers, 5-pointers towards the end of the year. I do have a quick question though. Does Ben, wherever he lands, maybe it's Rogue,
if Yeah, if he gets on a faction, he could be really
If he gets on a faction. Is he singles? Is he teams? Or is he IG?
I think he. I was gonna say I think he has.
He's a
more
three-way
fun.
player. He is a
I think
three-way player.
I think he has more fun doing IG,
I do too.
but it's also a lot more work.
Mm-hmm.
And the dude is busy.
Mm-hmm.
Dude got ish to do.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he would.
It's funny because I see him as teams.
I see him as I see him because I don't think he has the time to really prepare as much as he would need to be a main IG guy. So I think teams is pretty perfect for where he would land.
I think that's true. It works out better for him, I think. And he's worked well with both partners, he and Rachel, and then he and Paul. He had two great partners that should have. I mean, one of them did pan out for a pretty good stint with Rachel, and Paul. Again, they just kind of hit some struggles there. It's going to be interesting to see where he lands, who grabs him, and who pairs with him if it is a team. I would be surprised if he picks singles over everything, because I know someone mentioned in the chat he backed out of the singles tournament 2 years in a row, and who knows, maybe things came out or happening for him in life, but I definitely think teams is probably the way to go for him most of all. Any other thoughts on the den before we head out?
Nope.
Okay, next team is actually a faction that is no more, and that is the Usual Suspects, I believe.
That's right. No,
they're still. Oh wait, they're still there. That's right. They're still there. Yeah. Sam Levine here has a very difficult decision because he's got Amara Moses, he's got Drew McQueen, he's got Liz Shannon Miller, he's got Ethan Irwin, Marie Wilson for Star Wars, and Nikki DeMolanta. Her up and comer here, who at the back end of the season is going to be going into this year looking for that belt because she almost took down Thomas Harper. What do we think Sam Levine does here?
I think his whole entire team is there.
I do too.
I think so too.
You want to hear
mine?
mine?
I'm interested in which five we think it is, though. Go ahead.
Okay. I go Paige for singles, Liz and Ethan for teams, Amaru for IG, Star Wars is Nikki.
I'm the same. I'm the exact same.
You say singles is Paige?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm the exact same.
It's a juggernaut.
Yeah.
An absolute juggernaut. Those are all champions. Potential champions.
My one thing with that is I could see him keeping McWeenie just because of that whole loyalty kind of thing.
She's been lurking until this moment.
But Paige is obviously the better pick.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ethan and Liz, and then Amaru for IG, and then Nikki for Star Wars. Yeah, I think the Usual Suspects are one of the easier ones to pick. I think Usual Suspects and Corruption are kind of the easiest factions to be this is what it is. Okay, done.
I think almost everybody is on the same page.
Easy. It's
everyone's on the same exact page.
Yeah, I get the love for McWeenie's there, but are you gonna drop Liz, Ethan, or Paige for the way he has been playing? No.
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't see. I feel horrible for saying it, and I feel like it's super mean, but I think the glory days of McWeenie is probably not.
Well, it's the same situation with a lot of these older players. They don't transfer. Some of them don't transfer over well to the new style of Schmoedown. And even though he did get a win under his belt this year, it came with a little bit of the controversy where he answered after the question. There was a challenge. They allowed it.
Yeah.
As much as I want the Godfather to return to being the Godfather and him playing with Sam Levine, sometimes we just talked about it with Ben. Sometimes a new situation is a little better for you. He has been with Sam and a part of Sam for a very long time. First they were a team together. And now he's been playing for him. As hard as it is, I do think it's an easy decision. You keep Paige over Drew. You do. Paige is she's been better. She's just been better. And And then, yeah, I mean, Liz and Ethan together is an obvious choice. But that's also interesting because if we're going by our rules tonight, that means that the former singles champion of the world, Ethan Irwin, isn't playing singles, which is crazy.
If we're going on our rules, which
But
that's
that's what we're sticking. That's why we're sticking about tonight. Sticking.
I don't get me wrong. Frankie is fantastic.
Yeah.
But Mans is busy. He had a kid. He runs a successful podcast.
Frankie would be a great rogue, I think.
He would be a great rogue because he also lives on the East Coast. I know Paige does as well.
I think someone snags Frankie
over their other people.
I think I saw someone in the chat say
Frankie to the den.
Yes.
Ooh, I do like that.
Because they are heels.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that.
I do like that.
The Den are kind of getting on that heel page, and Frankie can be a really good heel.
I don't hate Frankie on the Den.
And the Den, really they have both teams and singles available, which is an opening. But yeah, I think Sam, out of all of the factions, outside of corruption, Sam probably has the easiest choice.
Yeah.
Probably has the most simple choice because look, I mean, even outside of the 5 that he has, he still has a number of people to choose from. He can, if he really wanted to, just that are sitting there waiting for him to be. I mean, we haven't even talked about Marie Wilson. She killed it.
Yeah,
she killed it this year. So I'm very interested in seeing where she lands. If she's a rogue, maybe she does FCL. I don't know, but she did great, and we only saw her in the first 6 months of the year. So yeah, I'm surprised Sam ended up that low in the standings after all of that. I mean, his team's so good.
I know. Crazy. Okay. It's crazy. He's up there, though.
Yeah.
They didn't do bad.
Okay, next faction. Let's see. All right, this is where it gets interesting. I think I can just scroll right over. Yep, I sure can. Let's go ahead and talk about, not them, the dungeon.
Okay. Let's
is where it gets
about
the dungeon. Lot of players. And added to this list that's not there, number 13 is Kevin Smets. He is returning. He's officially back. And he will be playing in IG this upcoming year. This is very, very hard because there's already 2 IG players on that roster. There's a number of Star Wars players on that roster. And you also have the likes of Dan and Ben, which maybe they both want to play singles, which means one of them would go. Jill, let's start with you. What do you think Kaiser does to this faction?
So Smets is obviously going to the dungeon. Like, that's
correct.
No question. Smets is not going to come back and not go to Kaiser.
Agreed.
Molly is his Star Wars player.
Okay.
And I'm going to do the hot take, and I'm going to say he's going to keep Bateman.
Oh, really? So
I think he's going to keep Bateman.
So you think Dan Murrell goes elsewhere or plays Rogue? Brian, I think you're muted.
I think or either Dan goes elsewhere and goes Rogue, or they find another teammate for Dan.
That's possible as well. And you think just in going by our rules that they can't go back and forth, that Dan just plays teams?
Which I don't know if he would just play teams. It's the thing. But like, could you imagine the GOAT being a Rogue player and just wrecking everyone's like faction standings by making them not get points? Like, because I Harloff, if you're watching, I feel like that would be such a fun thing to do, is getting like a champion level Rogue. Like I said with Chundru, like having champion level rogues would make things so interesting. But
Jeremy's keeping Video Drew as the singles player.
I think Drew.
She had a phenomenal year.
She did.
That too.
She was like a point away. I forget what she was saying. I'll say it like 3. I'll say her name 3 times, and hopefully she appears. Video Drew. She said on her show one day, I forget who it was, but she was a point away from beating Griffin.
Yeah.
And I believe someone else too that is like, I'm drawing a blank. But she was saying, Marisol. women almost beat both
Yeah.
the singles
Yeah.
players for the championship. It's
I
just
need a poster now.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
please.
but
You're in the off season. Give me a poster.
Yeah, that's my hot take. I think he keeps Bateman, and I think Dan either goes elsewhere or Dan goes rogue.
You know what?
You want to know mine?
Especially if Mara said that she is going rogue, I could totally see Dan also going rogue.
You know what, Jill? You persuaded me. I think Dan's gonna go rogue.
You think so?
I think Dan's
wouldn't
gonna
that
go rogue.
I don't know. I feel like people have this
Someone-
idea that rogues are like, oh, they're not good enough to be on a faction. It's like I think they need these top tier rogue players just to make things interesting.
I think.
Like,
Yeah,
it's just
I think
me.
Dan goes rogue. I think Ben is the singles player. I think Kaiser reaches out for 2 teams players. He attempts to get 2 players on the outside. Maybe Ben Goddard. Maybe a Ben Goddard
on
would
the
partner with
dungeon
someone.
would be cool.
Oh my God! Here you go. Here you go. Teams right now: Frankie Alvarez and Ben Goddard.
And Ben Goddard. Ooh.
That was the douchiest team I've ever seen.
There you go. There's your dungeon team.
And it's perfect.
And I don't
on the
hate it.
dungeon.
There's your
And
dungeon
it's
team.
perfect
But
on the dungeon.
and here's and I think as much as I would love to see it happen, I think Molly goes rogue as well.
Oh,
and he
100%.
keeps Hoey.
And I think Hoey is kept.
So here's mine. Since Jake basically said,
Or okay, go ahead, Brian. Go ahead. Sorry.
I think he keeps Dan for singles. IG is Smets, and I think he keeps Hoey. I would love Molly would have so much fun being a rogue.
Yeah, 100%.
She that is right up her alley. She gets
Agreed.
to be her own boss.
Agreed.
Heck yeah. That way, exactly, Chuck. Molly is a maverick. She does her own thing. I mean, who doesn't want to see her just pop out of nowhere and steal someone's points? I mean,
Yeah.
I have an interesting thing.
oh my God, Maddie,
would
that's
be-
a great team.
Yeah, that would be good. And Vinny would be great in the dungeon because he was a previous dungeon mate.
Yeah.
I have an interesting idea for Star Wars for the dungeon. Say that Molly goes rogue. Say that Hoey, because look, the dude's got a 9-month-old baby at home. He runs a successful podcast. He's got a full-time job. Say he can't do it full-time either. What if Zach Burkett is available?
Yeah.
Wait, who he's going to get rid of Hoey and Molly?
And what if he goes for
Keep
Zach
Burkett.
Burkett?
Why would he get rid of one of
I'm not
those
saying he's getting rid of them. What if they can't commit to being there?
To a faction
To
type
a
of
faction.
schedule.
Because then we also have to keep that in mind. Zach Burkett could be really fun on the dungeon.
I honestly think that the amount of Star Wars competitors that have come through the dungeon, it would be very difficult to see Kaiser grabbing someone he doesn't already know just out of pure friendship. Like, I honestly, don't get me...
disagree. Kaiser picked up freaking Chris Jericho just for shits and giggles. Like, he's gonna pick up who
Not
he
wrong.
wants to pick up.
Not wrong.
That's true. That is true.
Also, I know Brian, you may not be on the Zach Burkett train, but here's also an interesting one. Ross Arsenault.
Ross?
I think Ross should
Whoever-
be on the faction.
Ross
Ross-
would be really good on the dungeon.
Ladies and
think
gentlemen,
so.
if Ross is not on a MTS faction, you're idiots.
He only
You're
lost.
idiots.
He only lost that match because he had the most ridiculous 5-pointer that has ever been asked in a Star Wars match.
Yep.
Yeah,
Like,
ever
point blank.
and all of questions.
Like,
Ross
ridiculous.
would be a great dungeon player. A
He
great dungeon
Yeah.
player.
that man is a Star Wars encyclopedia.
Yeah, he reminds me of oh my God, Scrimshaw. He reminds me of
Yeah,
Scrimshaw. a lot.
Ross would be. He'd be really, really good as a dungeon player. So what we're thinking at this point, we're thinking that right now the locks are Kevin Smets.
Yes.
Yeah, Kevin Smets is always the one
if-
lock for sure.
If we're going 100% signed, seal, delivered, then yes.
Kevin Smets is the lock for the
Kevin
dungeon.
Smets, welcome to the dungeon.
Yeah.
And that means, and we talked about him, but Robert Parker will no longer be part of the dungeon. The possibilities are out there for him. look, you have someone who just contended against Mike Kalinowski in one of the greatest, if not the greatest, IG match ever played. Someone's going to want to pick him up, maybe even dropping an IG player to get him. So that'll be very interesting. The Dan theory of him going rogue is very interesting.
Can I ask?
Yeah.
Does anyone think that there is a possibility that Parker is rogue, or does he absolutely end up on a team?
He ends up on a team.
I can see the whole storyline of like, I was betrayed by the dungeon because they took Kevin back, and now I'm just gonna be my own lone wolf.
You mean that? You mean that?
Yeah. The Smets versus Parker match will be within the first 5 months of the year. I'll call it right now.
Yeah.
Maybe even 4.
Hopefully it's the collision match. Real quick, before we move on to the next faction, I will bring up our poll that we have in the chat real quick. And I asked all of our viewers which faction/manager has the toughest decision this offseason. And with the 44%, that does go to Kaiser in the dungeon. Most people think that he has the hardest choice, but that is closely followed by 37% of one Bobby Gucci in the Finstock Exchange.
I think he has
they have the hardest one.
We will be getting to them very, very shortly here. But next up on the list is one of our most favorite people in the world here.
One of ours or yours?
Is Mr. Koi John Drew and the Quirky Mercs.
He's pretty great.
This is an interesting decision that Koi also has available for him. Obviously, Shazam is a keeper. Obviously, Andrew DiMolanta is probably a keeper for Star Wars. That leaves singles and IG up for grabs for him. He does have Jesse Swift available to grab for IG, and he needs a singles player, and he has a plethora of players there on his list. If we're, again, just going by the fact that we're going to say that Bibbs and the Kid are going to play just teams, that singles player will go up to grabs to someone. And I'm going to say it right now, I say he has the 5 players on his team.
Really?
I do.
Sorry, I missed that.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I think Koi has the 5 players on his team.
Who's his IG player?
I think he keeps Jesse. I think Koi keeps Jesse because Jesse is a Quirky Merc through and through.
Yeah.
Even though there are better IG players available, I think he keeps them. Here are the 5 I think Koi keeps. Obviously Shazam, so Bibbs and Brendan.
Yep.
DiMolanta for Star Wars.
Yep.
Jesse for IG. Josh Horowitz for singles.
That's mine. I kept IG blank.
I kept IG blank too.
I kept IG blank because I could also see Parker going into the Mercs.
Yes. And that's what I was thinking too. That's what I was thinking too.
Parker is okay. I'm changing mine.
Yeah, I can see Parker as a Merc.
Yeah, I'm. You guys persuaded me. Parker is going to be a Merc, and I'm going to
love
it.
You don't get that.
I'm going to love it.
I think
Dungeon Team Wild Bear.
No, they already said they're not going to be on a faction. They said that it's spectacular.
Their faction is the Wild Berries.
The fans are their faction.
Yeah. And Booze is their manager. I think that you can test the waters with IG. Also,
I agree.
Yeah.
Also, keep this in mind. We heard leading up to last season that Eric Whiteley was wanting to play IG as well. Like maybe he gives Eric a chance.
He's not horrible at it.
Yeah, maybe he gives Eric a chance because he does all those reactions and everything on his channel.
Yeah.
I think he dips his toe into the free agency for IG, knowing that he could easily grab Jesse whenever he wants, because it's not like Jesse's going to say, no, you didn't pick me right off the bat. I'm not going to you.
So we're in agreement that 4 of his 5 are essentially locked.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
The only one that gives me question is his loyalty to Kevin Smith.
Me too.
If he chooses Kevin Smith over Horowitz, he's a dum-dum.
I also agree.
I agree.
Koi, I hope you're watching me when I say that. I hope you're a dum-dum if you do that.
I agree. But Mans has some loyalty.
Yes, but also keep this
to Kevin Smith.
and we've talked about this throughout the year. Just because you're not on a faction doesn't mean you're working for a faction.
Yeah.
Kevin
Oh, yeah.
Smith could be a rogue who isn't getting points, but is working for the Quirky Mercs and running people away from their path to eventually running into the Quirky Mercs as a rogue agent.
Yeah.
That is very possible because rogues can play faction players. That is official. And as Ryan Jason says, but does Harloff choose Smith over Horowitz?
I mean, that is also not a that is not a too far off. The way Horowitz played, it's moronic to pick anyone other.
And Coy, we're not afraid to tell you that. You just keep Horowitz, please.
It's moronic to do that.
Yeah.
A new guy. This is an interesting question. I don't know if they can in front of the camera, but behind the camera, they for sure can.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100% they can behind the camera.
It's probably to keep the stories up and just like as far as the show goes, more than likely.
I mean, you're not going to know
about it. You won't see it in front of the camera. But yeah, for sure. Like again, if Kevin Smith isn't on the actual Quirky Mercs roster, you bet your ass that he'll be managing Kevin Smith behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we have two left. Let's go ahead and get to the faction that came up just short this year of the faction title. Oh, not that one. A little too far. And that was Bobby Gucci and the Finstock Exchange. Again, as far as our votes go, the second team that has the hardest decision going into next season. I'm even kind of pressed to say that he may have the hardest decision to make.
I think he does.
Oh, I think he does.
He has the most players who consistently got him points. Again, keep this in mind. He is the only faction to get to Spectacular without a single title match, and they were leading in points going into that event. That is very, very important there, and I'm sure our rosters are going to look a little different compared to each other. So, Brian, why don't you start us off? Who are the players you think that he'll end up keeping going into next season?
I don't know. Honestly, I have Gold Leader for Star Wars just because those two are like peanut butter and jelly, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, there's no other one that I could see. I mean, just out of pure, like, let's be honest. We know that Gucci wasn't there all the time, and Barbarian probably did most the heavy lifting. I just don't see Barbarian going anywhere else. So I hesitate with him because he's also a very solid IG player.
Mm-hmm.
So I tend
So is Moose, though.
I know, and that's. I don't know. Honestly, my locks right now would be Newman for singles and Gold Leader for Star Wars. But I don't know what.
I'll throw 5 at you right now.
Oh, I can't pick 5. I'm not.
I'll throw 5 at you right now from his roster. King Arthur, so King Khan and Griffey Nooms. Here's your 2. JTE as your singles.
That's stupid.
Barbarian is your IG, and Gold Leader is your Star Wars.
No.
And again, this isn't what I'm deciding. This is what I think Gucci's going to decide.
And
who's your IG?
Barbarian.
Here's my struggle: is I think Gold Leader is the only lock because he's also their only Star Wars player that they have.
I agree.
So for me, I think Griffey is a lock, but I don't know where you would put him.
Yeah, what side of the
would
table?
Would he be the singles player or would he be the teams? Which if it's the teams, obviously you're going to keep King Arthur.
And here's the thing with that, Jill. Just real quick, I think if he keeps Griffey as a singles player, I think King Khan is not a Finstock Exchange player. I don't think King Khan makes this roster without being part of the teams with Griffey Nooms.
I see. I don't know. I think they could also. I think Ty and Jeffrey would also be a really fun team.
But why would you split up a team that almost beat Shazam?
Exactly. They literally made it to Spectacular as a team. But then again, Griffey made it to Spectacular as a singles player. So it's so I'm kind of all over the place with that one. And then also for me, I think like Haas is really freaking good.
He is the one I'm struggling with the most.
But Craig was kind of the backbone of the exchange.
Well, then here's what you can do.
But
Craig was the backbone.
But you can also go totally crazy because a lot of people were talking about in the chat earlier. Chundru can be the IG player for the Finstock Exchange.
Absolutely not.
That is very possible.
Like, you can just throw a whole hot mess into that Express.
Could you imagine Chundru as their IG player and then Gold Leader as their Star Wars player?
And then them just dumping Haas and Craig. Like, that would just be pure craziness. But, like, it could happen. Yeah, I don't know. Like,
so, again, if Gucci stays within his ranks, which he has somewhat been, iffy about that, if you take JT off the table, which is kind of the reaction that I got from not just you, but also the chat as well, you could do Barbarian as your singles, King Arthur as your teams, Moose as your IG, and Gold Leader as your Star Wars. And that pulls from your ranks.
I have no idea. This is
and also Jeffrey, I agree. I think that singles and the singles player and the teams player can coincide. Yeah. I think that'll be a thing. But
yeah, we're just kind of going off of it.
We're doing it for our brain's sake.
Yeah.
I don't know why anyone would pick anything other than the exchange for.
I literally wrote Moose and Craig with question marks on my board because, like,
I'll be honest.
I mean, you also have Rick Radis sitting there with no losses.
I don't think they keep Rick.
Yeah, I don't think they keep.
I don't think so either. But I'm just saying, like, the man hasn't lost yet.
As much as I don't. So I think, unfortunately, both Kim and Taylor aren't going to be kept. Obviously, Taylor is all the way down under, so that's going to be hard for her because everything is going to be in person for the most part. I think Rick Radis is probably on the chopping block. I think Brother Lomas is on the chopping block. I think Ty Lieberman is on the chopping block. Everyone else is a big if. I mean, that's what and John Roca, obviously. So you have Barbarian, JTE, Griffey Nooms, Gold Leader, Moose.
You are putting a lot of stock into JTE. I don't put stock into him.
I don't think they keep JTE.
The only reason why I'm doing that is because he's an original with Finstock, and he made a #1 contenders match this year.
Yeah.
He actually got them a lot of points.
I honestly feel like he's not going to even come back next year.
He just moved to LA.
Yeah, he's back in LA.
Oh, did he?
He just moved back to LA.
Yeah, he's back in LA.
I think a lot of people are overlooking the Bobby Gucci and JTE relationship. It's been there since the very beginning.
Yeah.
The very beginning. And that loyalty to just that one person could shake up a lot of things on how he moves his roster around. It's
interesting.
Yeah, but I think Brother Lomas and Rick Radis are definitely gone from the Finstock Exchange.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Just a thought.
I don't understand why anyone would not vote for this as the hardest.
Yeah, this is the hardest one for me. For me personally, this one's the hardest.
I agree. I definitely agree. Okay, real quick before we move on, question here from Brian Bailey. Thank you so much for starring that, Brian. Do you think they could add factions next year with Adam Witt, Barbarian, and Molly as managers?
Oh, you guys didn't hear about the POV faction?
Don't put that out there. Don't put that out there.
Oh yeah, we have a team next year.
Out of those three names, I think as much as Craig put together the faction behind the scenes, he's still a player at heart right now.
Yeah.
I also think that's probably the case with Molly as well. Adam Witt, I would not, without a doubt in my mind, be surprised if I wake up tomorrow morning, Christian's announced, oh yeah, Adam Witt's going to run a faction next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hardest question would be, what would his team name be?
Yeah. Fan favorites.
The fan favorites.
I love it.
The fan favorites. And if Adam Witt does get a faction, here's something to think about. If Adam Witt does get a faction, that might make the whole dungeon split thing a little easier.
Yeah, make basically dungeon part 1 and part 2.
It very well could.
Well,
I know that
Parker would go straight to Wit.
I think Parker would go straight to Wit. I think Molly would probably love to play for Wit, which might make that a little easier.
Yeah.
It would definitely be very, very interesting to see when
that would just be Team Sass.
Yeah.
It would be sass. It'd just be so much sass.
All right, so yeah, we'll wait to see. And yes, obviously, Wit would definitely have to manage his buddy Paul Preston.
The Nitwits. Oh my god.
Oh my
god. The Wits End is also.
You pop in for one comment, and the Nitwits has already won the chat. So
the Nitwits, the Witless Wonders. Oh my god, y'all, these are solid.
We gotta send these to. I'll have to send these to Adam Witt.
Be like, hey, are you managing? If you are, we have.
I love the Nit.
Imagine if he's not, and we're sending him team names, and he's like, guys, what are you?
He's like, leave me alone.
Like, I'm sure if he is managing, he probably already knows and probably already has a name. But we just.
I love the. Oh god, the Nitwits is so.
The Nitwits is good.
The
Nitwits is really, really good.
That's freaking great.
All right, and then we'll finish this off with the faction champs here, the 2-time defending champions. That is Corruption, who may look like they have an easy decision.
They do.
But could I know, but I just had to build it up, Jill. Come on.
They do. There's no need for a build-up.
So 4 out of the 5 from the current roster, and then 1 from elsewhere, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're putting their faction together from the previous year. It's going to be Mike, IG. It's going to be Chance singles. It's going to be Adam and Marisol as teams, just for the sake of our conversation.
Yep.
And then it's going to be Laura Kelly as your Star Wars.
Correct.
Okay. Easy enough.
And done.
This close to keeping Dewberry.
Dewberry, he's gone.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That, ladies and gentlemen, was my moment of the year. I cracked up, and I still laugh thinking of I just slandered on out there.
Ryan, the only reason why I am saying that Marisol is on the teams is because, again, going up top to our conversation, we're just locking players into their category. Adam and Marisol aren't IG right now, and so we're putting Mike in the IG spot, and we're keeping Deception as a team for the Corruption spot. But like we've talked about, more than likely, players will be able to go back and forth between teams and singles because they're essentially the same division.
We're doing it just to fill the literal spot.
Yeah. And that's probably what I'm guessing is like, I imagine teams and singles, you'll be able to flip back and forth between, and even like IG and Star Wars, if you want to, you'll be able to flip back and forth between. I don't see why it would be difficult to switch back and forth between divisions like before. It shouldn't be that hard.
Not for singles and teams. It's literally the same thing. You're just not playing with someone.
Just for the sake of the conversation. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, everybody on that list are people that factions are going to be very happy to grab. I know Jeffrey mentioned it in the comments, but someone like Jacob London, who is a previous fan league champ who made waves in the free for all. Mm-hmm. James White, who is in 2 years seems like he still hasn't gotten his due in the amount of matches he probably deserves.
Yeah.
Let me say this: if Nolan takes James and he goes to the FCL, people are gonna be like, "Oh crap."
Yeah.
Yeah, or he can be a really fun rogue agent. I mean, he could be a really fun rogue agent who can kind of cause a little chaos.
I don't want him to be a rogue agent. I want him to go somewhere and knock people's teeth in.
I agree.
Like, I think I would rather see him in a place where, because I mean, he just has had bad rolls of dice. Wait, what did that say? What did it say?
Michael recruit Bateman for Star Wars.
Please,
Maddie, you don't know how much I would love to see this happen. I would love to see
it. It would be pretty fun.
I wish they did that at Spectacular. I wish that instead of kicking Dewberry out, they kicked Chance out.
What's funny is because I knew what was going to happen, and I told Jake, I was like, "You want to get your camera out for this?" And then Chance came on stage, and I almost had a heart attack because I was like, "Wait, this is not what was planned. What is happening?"
I loved that.
It was wonderful. That was great.
One of my favorite parts.
Well, because everyone around us was like, "Wait, they're getting rid of Chance."
Oh, I 150, not a sliver of doubt, thought that we were getting rid of Chance. And then
I wish that was the case.
I signed, sealed, delivered, bought that hook, line, and sinker. that chance was about to be the one that goes bye-bye. And then here comes Dewberry sauntering in. It's like, that's it.
All right, well, there it is, everybody. Our kind of faction predictions preview, going through all 8 of them. Who knows? Because there's only 5 players per faction, we could see another faction. We could see 2 more factions kind of plop up. There's a lot of possibilities. A lot of players who are left in limbo at the moment. A lot of players who are going to be looking for new homes. A lot of rogue players. We're also downsizing the amount of players that are even joining the league. That comment doesn't exist anymore. But it's gonna be fun. I mean, I imagine we'll find out pretty soon, because there is no draft and the season really isn't that far away.
Like February, I think we kick back up.
Yeah,
Jake, just think, if you're on a faction though, that prize money at the end of the year could help pay for that wedding. Just saying.
My wedding happens in the middle of the year.
Yeah, that
doesn't help at all. And you're muted again. And he doesn't hear me.
You're muted.
You're muted.
You're muted.
I was gonna say, you just paid that whole entire thing off at one time. Okay, good. Never mind then.
I doubt I would get that much money to pay off my wedding. Trust me.
Open bar.
Hey.
Well, we'll see. I mean, with my friends we'll see. After what I experienced this spectacular weekend, I don't know if that's going to be possible. Just with that crew alone. Just
for Molly, Jill, and Sean and
Alex alone. That's a conversation for another day. There's our little faction preview predictions heading into next year. Just quick question for you guys. Out of those factions that we kind of predicted, whether it's 2 players, 5 players, which one are you looking forward to kind of like seeing play as a group? Just from the names that we know off the top of our head. And it could be something super easy, but is there a faction that like you're like super excited to see as a faction going into next year with just those players?
I mean, I'm glad that corruption is pretty much guaranteed to stay the same.
It's the same core, literally.
Like, yeah.
That's how you win championships.
I mean, they've done it. They've done it 2 years in a row. So
sorry, Jake, but look at the Oakland A's. They haven't built a core in God knows how long.
You got ourselves a good manager, so
now you did. I honestly, suspects are dangerous.
They are.
Yeah,
they are. That's a really good team, and they have their 5 core right there.
That is a dangerous team.
Yeah, that's
Ethan, scary. Liz, Paige, Rue, and Nikki. No, thank you. I would not want to do that. Yeah. The promo of Laura coming back to the bad side. I long for that day. Oh, all you Merc shills.
Chuck.
Rude.
Yeah, baby. Mercs all the way. Let's go.
All you Merc shills.
All right, everybody. That's going to wrap up tonight's show. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Everyone watching, you guys rock. It's obviously a little weird with the offseason, not doing too many shows. We're only here on a weekly basis, just on the one day. But we are available in Patreon form. In tons of different videos. First part of our December Q&A is up. It's a lot of fun. Really good questions from you guys. The second part will be coming soon. FCL reaction coming up as well. We have a watch along next Monday, which is officially the Christmas movie Just Friends. It is one of Brian's favorite movies of all time. And because we skipped his birthday month because it was spooky season for the girls.
Yeah, they didn't give me the hot chick for September, so we skipped December.
We are watching Just Friends next Monday, and then we are doing Christmas bar movie trivia a week from Thursday, which is including Elf, Christmas Vacation, and the first Home Alone. Those 3 movies will be our subjects for the bar movie trivia. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you want more POV, check it out there, because we will not be on the air as far as a main show next week. We're taking the week off. We hope everyone has a fantastic Christmas, whichever way you decide to celebrate, and New Year's, of course, because we won't be on the air for New Year's as well. Go enjoy yourself, enjoy the food, enjoy your family, enjoy everything that you'll be doing over the holiday. And before we head out, I'll let the crew kind of send off their social medias and wherever you can find them. Jill, kick us off.
Yeah, you can find me Jilly Marie, 2 I's, 2 E's on Twitter and Instagram. Sometimes you can find me over on SEN on their morning Twitch show. I think I might be on there this week, maybe, question mark. I don't know. I have to figure it out with Alex. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
And Brian?
Be Evolcino on Twitter and Apocalypse Movies. If you're into talking movies, there was something that came out this week that I'm sure we're going to be talking about tomorrow.
What could that be?
I'm
We'll
not
find
quite
out
sure.
tomorrow.
So yeah,
Because I don't know what the show topic is, so we'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah, if you're not bored of talking about that, come check it out tomorrow at a time to be announced, possibly.
One last super chat here from a new guy. Thank you so much, a new guy.
Hi,
Happy
new
New
guy.
Year. Thank you. Much appreciated. At Qui-Gon Jake for myself, 2 N's. Someone else took it before I did. Apocalypse Movies, POV. All kinds of fun things happening over here, guys. If you check out that Patreon link, really, it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun things happening with a great
Should
group
we
of
plug
people.
Molly's stuff too?
Yeah, at Molly
Yeah.
Damon, at Molly Mander, Twitch, if they end up doing it, Star Wars Explained.
TikTok.
Oh, they are. Oh my God. That
Oh
TikTok
my
they
God!
released.
Please,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen,
That
if you
TikTok
have
was
not
amazing.
seen
Search Star Wars Explained on TikTok and go
I
watch the
showed
recent
that to
TikTok.
Sean and he
my
lost
God.
his mind. It was
Alex
so
goes hard.
It's hard.
so
hard.
good,
Hard.
too
but yes,
hard.
everyone, hope you guys have a great Christmas, a great week. If you have time off, spend it wisely, have fun, stay safe, and we will catch you guys in the new year. Bye, guys.